The year is 1066 and Harald has been killed in a battle. The Viking era is over, but it is the start of the early Middle Ages. Harald's sons, Magnus and Olav, took the power in Norway after Harald's death. Magnus died in 1069 and Olav became the only king in Norway. He was surnamed Kyrre, which means peaceful. Olav managed to maintain peace in Norway. He made peace with Svein Estridsson of Denmark and William the Conqueror of England, and managed to save Norway from conflicts with other nations, and Norway prospered. Olav died in 1093. His son, Magnus Barefoot, became the new king. Norway continued to be peaceful under Magnus. He helped to solve some conflicts between Norwegian and Celtic chieftains in Ireland, Orkney and the Hebrides. With the help of Magnus, many islands became a Norwegian subject. Magnus died in 1103 and his sons shared power between themselves. King Eystein focused on the infrastructure in Norway and built many churches and trading ports. He managed to earn a lot of money on the trade with the foreign countries. The contact between Christian Western Europe and Norway grew. King Eystein died in 1123 and King Sigurd became the only king in Norway. After Sigurd's death in 1130, two persons had a fight about who will become the next king in Norway. The choice was between Magnus, Sigurd's son, and Harald Gille, which claimed to be Sigurd's younger brother. This fight developed into a civil war. Magnus was captured in 1135 and blinded. He was sent to a prison in Bergen and became known as Magnus the Blind. Harald's power became challenged by another man, which claimed to be a son of Magnus Barefoot. His name was Sigurd Slembe. Sigurd killed Harald in Bergen in 1136 when Harald was asleep, and then proclaimed himself as a new king. Sigurd wasn't recognized by Harald's men, and they convinced Harald's sons Sigurd Haraldsson and Inge Haraldsson to proclaim themselves kings. Sigurd freed Magnus the Blind from prison and allied himself with him. The fight between Sigurd and Magnus on the one side and Harald's sons on the other side escalated in 1139. Sigurd and Magnus was defeated at the Battle of Holmengrå. Magnus was killed on the spot and Sigurd was taken prisoner and killed. Norway was split between Sigurd Haraldsson and Inge Haraldsson. Sigurd and Inge's power was challenged in 1142 by Eystein Haraldsson, which claimed to be the son of Harald Gille. Sigurd and Inge gave in to his demand and gave him a piece of Norway. They managed to maintain peace with each other until 1155. Sigurd and Eystein planned to depose Inge and split the kingdom between themselves. Inge heard about this and decided to take action before they did it. He decided that the meeting between the three kings in Bergen was the best opportunity to take action. He attacked Sigurd's men and killed Sigurd before Eystein had arrived in the city. He managed to make peace with Eystein, but the peace between them was short-lived and the war broke out between Inge and Eystein. Eystein was captured in 1157 and killed. Norway was now unified. Sigurd and Eystein's men refused to submit to Inge and proclaimed a new king, Håkon Herdebrei, which was the son of Sigurd. The war continued until 1161 when Inge was killed. Inge's men refused to submit to Håkon and proclaimed Magnus Erlingsson the new king. Håkon was killed at the Battle of Sekken in 1162. Magnus was then declared the sole king of Norway. He was crowned in Bergen in 1163. A law came into effect which said that the firstborn legitimate son should inherit the throne when the king died. A new rebellion was staged against Magnus in 1174. The rebellion was led by Øystein Møyla, which claimed to be the son of the former king Øystein. His faction became known as Birkebeinerne. Øystein Møyla was killed in the Battle of Ree in 1177. Birkebeinerne elected Sverre Sigurdsson as the new leader. Sverre Sverre had just arrived from the Faroe Islands and claimed to be the son of the former King Sigurd. He struggled to gain support in the start, but after a while, he proved himself as a skilled warrior. He won an important victory at the Battle of Kalvskinna. From that moment, the Trøndelag becomes Sverre's center of power. His power was, however, not entirely secured, and King Magnus continued to fight against him. Sverre won the final battle of Fimreite in 1184, and Magnus was killed. Magnus' men proclaimed a new king in 1185. His name was Jon Kuvlung, which claimed to be the son of the former King Inge. He was killed in 1188. Magnus' men proclaimed Sigurd Magnusson as king after Jon's death. Sigurd Magnusson claimed to be the son of the former King Magnus. He was killed some years later. The church allied with Sigurd's men, and Archbishop Eirik Ivarsson was forced to escape to Denmark in 1190. He received support from Pope Innocent III to excommunicate Sverre. Archbishop Eirik ordered every bishop in Norway to join him in exile in Denmark, which they did. King Sverre began to face a new challenge in 1197. Some of the big opponents of Sverre, among other Nicholas Arneson, which was the former King Inge's half-brother, and Archbishop Eirik, met in the town of Håler in Skåne. They proclaimed Inge Magnusson as their new king. He claimed to be the son of the former King Magnus. The new faction became known as Baglarne. Baglarne and Birkebeinerne didn't just fight over power in Norway, but they did also fight for how the future of the church should be. Baglarne wanted the church to be headed by the Pope in Rome, but Birkebeinerne wanted the church to be headed by the king. Baglarne and King Sverre fought several battles against each other, but none of them held advantage against the other. Both King Sverre and Inge Magnusson died in 1102. Sverre encouraged his son Håkon Sverreson to make peace with the church, which he did. The bishops returned back to Norway and released Norway from interdict. Håkon was poisoned in 1204 by his stepmother Margrethe. Håkon didn't have any known sons, and Baglarne thought that this was the end of the Sverre dynasty, but they was wrong. Håkon shared bed with Inga from Varteig 1 year earlier, and she had given birth to his son Håkon Håkonsson. He was already hidden from Baglarne, but it was ordered that the baby should be taken to Nidaros, where he will become king. Håkon had many close encounters with Baglarne, but he was successfully carried to Nidaros, where he became king, with Håkon Sverreson's brother as regent. Håkon Håkonsson began to rule Norway on his own when he was 13 years old, in 1217. A peace with Baglarne was accomplished the same year. Baglarne ceased to exist in 1218, and Norway became reunified. This was not received well by some of the members of Baglarne, and they created a new faction called Ribbungene, with Sigurd Ribbung as their leader. They fought against Birkebeinerne until 1227, when Sigurd Ribbung died, and Ribbungene gave up the fight. Håkon's main opponent to the throne was now Skule Bårdsson. Håkon gave him some powers and married his daughter to maintain peace with him. He was also given the title of Duke as the first person in Norway. He was still not satisfied and declared war against Håkon in 1239. Skule's attempt to take the throne failed, and he was killed in 1240. This marked the end of the civil war in Norway. Norway prospered after the end of the civil war, and Norway's power increased. Greenland became a subject of Norway in 1261, and Iceland also became a subject of Norway a short time after. Håkon died in 1263. His son, Magnus Lagabøte, became the new king of Norway. He introduced the nationwide laws in 1274, known as Magnus Landlover. Norway is now a big power in Scandinavia, and this era after the Civil War is considered the golden age of Norway. The final agreement between the church and the king was created in 1277, which prevented another civil war. Magnus died in 1319. He didn't have any sons, so Norway formed a union with Sweden. The daughter of Magnus had a son named Magnus Eriksson, which became king of both Sweden and Norway. In 1349, a ship arrived in Bergen, which completely changed Norway's history.